Evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Yeah, just going back in time again and reading a bit more of Arthur Hayes from, I believe this was from August of 2020. And I think this is the first time he mentions DeFi. So obviously we had DeFi summer last year when everything exploded, hot dogs, pancake, sushi, etc., etc. And it's funny, Hex kind of kicked things off, right? The whole DeFi locking up your coins for a period of time on the blockchain. Yeah, decentralized finance. As kicked off by Richard Hart, and it's funny. Even now, after all the basically a year and a half, is Hex the true and only DeFi asset? Kind of, right? There's obviously DeFi platforms, lending, borrowing, etc. But yeah, Hex is a pure play, and obviously you got the Celsius platform, which is kind of the first platform to kind of push earning interest on your coins, right? Getting coins on your coins, but that's not you doing the work. That's entrusting your coins to someone else. Not true crypto. True crypto is you holding your own keys and you doing the work, right? That's kind of what the key essence of cryptocurrency is. Like the origins of Bitcoin is you joining the network and you getting rewarded for being a participant, earning coins, right? Being close to the coin printer in this case rather than the money printer as the Fed. So the whole reason to get into crypto, I believe, is to be close to the inflation, be the first recipients, not getting it second hand or third hand from a miner through an exchange. That's, you're getting further removed from the center, right? So Hex is a pure play. You're right in it. You're receiving the coins because you are the network, right? So let's read a bit what Arthur is saying, and because he's one of the smartest guys in crypto, financial minds, and let's have a refresh for me as well. So it's good to get some key points that maybe I read a while back, but it's probably long forgotten, right? So it's cool for me. Let me take a swig of. What am I drinking? Not beer, actually. I'm drinking a scotch. The Woodsman. It's pretty good. Nice and mellow. I mix my scotch with quite a bit of water. So, yeah, I like it that 1-to-1, actually. That's for me, maybe, but yeah, it goes down nice and smooth. Here we go. Dreams of a Peasant, Arthur Hayes, 27 August 2020. And there also got, is this Beverly Hills Hillbillies or just a generic? Oh, The Grapes of Wrath. Here we go. John Steinbeck, 1940. So the 30s was the Depression, a huge mental kind of traumatic period for all these people who went through it, right? I guess the kids were fine, but these guys left the scar on their psyche for decades, well into the 60s, 70s, and 80s. They still, because I've been in America. I met elderly people who went through it, and it kind of affected how they saw money for the rest of their lives. Refusing to spend, would fix things instead of buying new things, etc. You kind of get the idea. There you go. I lack access to nightclubs and most other forms of revelry. I think this is during the period where the CCP were taking over his island because he's based in Hong Kong. And the Western world just sat back and watched. So there you have it. There you guys, a democratic, thriving capitalist hotbed, right? Being taken over by some commies. And the Western world just sat back and watched. So there you guys know who's got the power. CCP. I lack access to nightclubs and most other forms of revelry. Therefore, I decided to become a crypto peasant. I'm farming the latest and greatest shitcoin DeFi projects. While I deride many of these projects as activity resulting in economic waste, there is underlying proto-banking infrastructure that is being built on the rails of Ethereum and other protocols. Let this be my first treatise into the what drives demand and supply of crypto credit, and the institutions that are being built to service these needs. The demand for crypto credit. It's good to understand the mechanics of the space we're involved in, right? There are only two use cases that I would then lend against. Miners who borrow fiat, usually US dollars or renminbi, the Chinese yuan, to pay for electricity, rent, and salaries. They collateralize these loans with their mining machines and or on balance sheet Bitcoin or Ether. So you never have to sell your crypto. It's still not a commonly known idea. Speculators that need fiat or crypto to trade with leverage. Degens. To short specs need to borrow the shitcoin itself. To short specs, short speculators, he's talking there, who need to borrow the shitcoin itself, or to go YOLO long, they usually need dollars. These loans are usually not collateralized. The speculators pay so much in fees, it behooves the trading platform to lend them capital. Wow. Even if many blow up, which many do, trading platforms with proper margin call protocols will be able to collect the capital. And you should know, because he's, he runs BitMEX. I believe he created the perpetual swap, a financial kind of innovative product that kind of even the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the ICE, I don't believe they have yet. Right, it's a kind of a unique product to crypto, the perpetual swap. Speculators that need fiat or crypto to trade with leverage. Okay, all right. Why can't a small business or individual crowded out of the fixed income markets, talking about bonds and treasuries and all that kind of stuff, due to crony capitalism, I'll call it capitalism now. It is so far removed from capitalism, it's quite a joke. Use the crypto capital markets instead. Yeah. Borrowing crypto. Currently, there are no industries where the entire value chain from a producer to consumer pays entirely in Bitcoin. Imagine if you could only buy bottles of Dom Perignon in Bitcoin. That would mean the French producer. This is key concept about economics in general. Most of the economy is run on some sort of note or credit. Cash rarely changes hand, right? Especially gold never changes hand, right? That would mean the French producer paid for their inputs in Bitcoin. The wholesaler paid their producer in Bitcoin. The nightclub paid its distributor in Bitcoin, and the end bubbly water consumer paid in Bitcoin as well. If your cost of production is not natively in Bitcoin, it is foolish to price your good in that currency, right? Is absolutely correct. So, like crypto miners will often sell their mining rigs in Bitcoin because that's kind of their currency, right? It also means that your cost of capital should not be in Bitcoin. When this becomes reality, then it will be possible to lend to actual businesses in Bitcoin. Personal loans are also not possible in Bitcoin. What is this word? Proletariat. Yeah, that's you. I don't know what that means. I'll be honest. I've heard it before, but not too sure what it means. I guess it's you guys, us guys. Yeah, that's you. Just because you wear business casual on your Zoom call from the waist up doesn't mean that you are a replaceable cog in the service economy. Yeah, those guys earn fiat. There are many who would gladly take a Bitcoin loan at a low interest rate, but if the price of Bitcoin rises, they earn cheap but have to pay back expensive. That's the problem. That's the volatility of Bitcoin harming itself as a currency, right? And that is a recipe for bankruptcy and non-performing loans, NPLs. Yummy. Borrowing fiat stablecoin. It is absolutely feasible for a small medium enterprise to borrow Tether or another near USD equivalent stablecoin. However, outside our little sandbox, not many vendors accept USDT Tether for payment. Therefore, the borrower would borrow Tether, exchange it for USD, paying fees, then pay for the goods they need. At redemption, they would need to conduct the reverse exchange USD revenue for Tether, paying fees again, and then repay their Tether loans. While this is definitely doable, it isn't easy. You might think that it is, but that's because you are in a crypto bubble. Yeah. The bigger problem is that there are no proto banks set up to conduct proper credit analysis. Yeah, that's key on small, medium enterprises. Entirely over the internet across multiple legal jurisdictions. Jurisdictions. Sometimes I can't say words. Bear with me, people. That is hard work and risky. It's what banks used to do before central banks crushed the yield curve. So yeah, banks used to assess borrower risk, right? Credit worthiness, right? Better to lend to people and companies whose debt is guaranteed by a central bank. The government, the treasury, the main investment banks, right? Then take actual risk lending to productive small medium businesses. If you're borrowing a stablecoin as an individual, you probably have exhausted all other options. Credit cards, personal loans, home equity loans, while expensive, are available. If you live in a place where the credit conduits are so broken, that's most of the world actually. Also, your credit is so bad, these products are not available to you. The person lending you a stable coin is going to learn the meaning of adverse selection the hard way. Oh boy. That's why in these crypto loans for stable coins, you have to kind of put up a healthy bit of collateral, which normally means Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, whatever. For those of you whose brains have shrunk from too much TikTok, let me summarize. Oh my god, young people when they're TikTok, their brains are just being eaten away. I guess that's why I'm an old person saying that, right? I will lend fiat to miners, right? He's already said that because they got the collateral, they're producing the BTC, because they have an asset that produces the most liquid and largest market cap cryptos, Bitcoin and Ether. I would also lend them Bitcoin or Ether to purchase machines because the machines also produce Bitcoin and Ether. Hexkins, please note, you own T-shares which produce Hex. Pause on purpose there. I will lend to individual speculators or trading firms inside my own walled garden. I know they will generate fees by trading on leverage. And I know that I can call my loan back through the margin call process. I will not lend to SMEs in either crypto or fiat stablecoin. Small businesses, revenue and expenses are in fiat. This is key, right? He's been saying this 2 or 3 times. The cost of capital must also be in fiat, lest the price of Bitcoin rises. I lack the ability to do proper credit scoring, nor is it easy to use a stable coin outside of the crypto capital markets. I will not lend to individuals in either crypto or fiat stablecoin. Individuals who live in places with zero legal protections for foreign lenders or have such shit credit that none of the standard commercial banking credit products are offered to them are terrible debtors. The supply of crypto credit. This all ties into DeFi at the end, I believe. The supply of crypto credit, Bitcoin and Ether hodlers. You know who you are. You ain't selling no matter what the price. However, while you are chilling in the basement waiting for Bitcoin to hit 20 grand and Ether to hit 1200, remember this was August last year, and Ether to hit 1200, you would like to earn some yield. Yield. Your biggest worry when custodying your crypto with third parties is whether they can actually keep it secure. if you're a meth head, you also worry about sloppy solidity code. Remember the DAO, rendering the smart contract inaccessible, and your funds go poof. Right? Hex is triple audited. 100% uptime. You trust no one, just code. You don't trust much code either. It's lack of trust in the whole bloody ecosphere, right? You assume that anyone borrowing these funds from you is going to do a runner. If you have been playing in the sandbox long enough, you have seen and experienced all sorts of scams and transacted all sorts of licentious rakes. What was it? Licentious? That sounds a cool word. Again, another word I don't never read before. As a result, you will only lend to very large and well-known platforms, large exchanges, large miners, large proto banks. You said that a couple of times now. Proto banks, protocol banks. I got it. There you go. Even if these platforms do not provide you collateral, they will make so much money from their business activities that not paying you back will do immense damage to their rep. A positive rep in this ecosystem is essential. Oh, yes. We don't have a national government forcing its citizens to use our services, even when we lie, cheat, and steal from them. That's the normal banks. Banking licenses are great if you can get one. Bad behavior occurs in crypto capital markets, but the scale is actually tiny. And you can't behave that way too long before the word is out on social media and your customers do a runner. Exactly. Hold on, just 1 minute. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, your reputation is key in crypto, and it's amazing. Like how Binance basically came out and in basically 6 months became a monster, right? In 2017, I think the main reason behind it was they listed everything, every shitcoin, right? And another key thing they did was not accept fiat, so they kept their regulatory arbitrage going. So 6 months, and they became a monster right in 2017. And FTX, I believe, they launched in the bear market. They're quite young as well, 2 years old. They've done a great job as well. So amazing. Fiat stablecoin lenders. Back when I started trading Bitcoin in 2013, the second best risk-adjusted zero-price delta trade. Wow, the second best risk-adjusted zero-price delta trade was to lend. He's kind of completely thrown me off here. Zero-price delta. I don't understand what he's getting at. So Bitcoin is the best option, I guess. Best risk-adjusted zero-price trade. Okay, was to lend US dollars at the FRR on Bitfinex. Oh, I didn't know there was some US dollar being lent on Bitfinex back then. The rate sometimes approached 1% per day. Wow. I knew many people wired their dollars in, deposited it on the Bitfinex lending markets, earned a fat yield. Wow, I didn't know that. What was number one? The number one best risk-adjusted zero-price delta trade was cash and carry. The futures basis routinely was over 200% per annum. What? What? I get hot and bothered with the basis jumps above 5% now. Whoa. So it's good to be early, right? Good to be early. These days, for those seeking to earn more than 0% or negative in Europe and Japan, take the dollars, buy Tether or another fiat stablecoin and stake it somewhere. As much as we like to shit on the USD, the crypto capital markets, like the rest of the world, are intrinsically short of dollars. Yeah, dollar milkshake theory, right? Remember that the blockchains that support a multi-center billion market cap use energy. Energy is priced in USD. That's natural gas, oil, etc., coal. Commodities. Therefore, miners must find USD by selling mined crypto or borrowing against their crypto. Speculators are usually net long. To get net long, you need to borrow fiat to purchase more crypto. So, a note on why speculators are net long. Bitcoin and other shitcoins can only fall to zero, but the upside is infinity. Cryptos are also insanely volatile. When you combine high volatility, unlimited upside, and limited downside, you have an attractive call option. Yeah, even Chamath Palihapitiya, when he bought in 2012, he just called it like his insurance bet, and he worked out, right? Therefore, as a speculator, you should always look out for what to buy on margin, not sell. Interesting tactic, but dangerous tactic. Obviously, you got to be wary of how much you crank up the amp on the margin, right? You aren't guaranteed to make money, but you give yourself the best odds to succeed. There's no guarantees in life, but yeah, you got to play the odds, right? As savers buckle under zero and negative rates, they will become risk-seeking with their capital. It's true. It's true. The crypto capital markets are the best place to earn some serious positive yields if you're willing to take some modicum of risk. The intermediaries. We have demand, we have supply. Let's dance. What type of players stand in the middle and collect the crumbs? He's in the middle, right? Exchanges. The exchange business, when done well at scale in crypto, is very profitable. When traders pay low to zero fees to execute spot trades, they always pay for margin. Therefore, the more capital that could be funneled to risk-seeking speculators, the more trading volume, the more fee income. Exchange free cash flow should be given to speculators at a price in order for them to trade more. At a certain point, the amount of capital desired by speculators will eclipse what exchanges can provide. At that point, the exchange will solicit capital from others. They always want to give you more rope to hang yourself, potentially, right? Or make money. To the moon. Exchanges use custody billions of dollars worth of crypto. Yeah. His BitMEX's insurance fund is nuts. I don't know. I haven't looked at it recently, but he's got a crazy amount of Bitcoin. As a depositor, you trust that the exchange will secure it properly and not steal it. You implicitly trust the operators. Bad news spreads rapidly on social media. Any hint that the exchange is not a good credit could metastasize into an exodus of depositors. He knows the game well. Traders with zero balances don't pay fees. Exchange operators must maintain pristine reputations in the eyes of the community. He did great during the COVID crash, by the way, turning off the engine. The largest exchanges have the most to lose by stealing. Therefore, when they say I'll pay you 1% a month to deposit USDT with me, you believe they can pay interest and principal. Wow. The exchange is the cheapest of all the intermediaries I will talk about because they have the most to lose by cheating. The exchanges, remember Cryptopia and what's that Canadian one? The exchange will then list that 1% per month capital and lend it to speculators at 10 basis points per day. What's that? 0.1% per day. So they're making 200% on that 1% per month, I believe. If the exchange gets 100% take up, they make a spread of 2%. There we go. 10 basis points times 30 days minus 1% per month. They also get to charge trading fees as speculators churn their books. The largest margin trading platforms all have schemes to raise assets with which to on-lend to speculators. So I love that he's so forthright with the whole business and the whole crypto ecosphere, right? Yeah, it's great stuff. Lending platforms. These platforms don't own an exchange and therefore do more traditional banking functions like Celsius and BlockFi. They don't have an intrinsic profitable use case for the capital raised, so they must match lender and borrower. That's a bloody lot of work they must do. Popular platforms such as BlockFi, Genesis, Renbit, Babel Finance, and Matrixport conduct this business. I never heard of most of those, to be honest. In the retail market, they offer very attractive rates for crypto and stablecoins. These are uncollateralized loans. Oh, really? When you deposit your stablecoins on Celsius, they are essentially uncollateralized loans. Yeah, it's true. In the OTC market, they will bid for size blocks of different coins, depending on where they have massive demand and supply imbalances. These large trades tend to be collateralized. This market is very nascent and will be immensely important as the demand for credit in our ecosystem expands. This is the precursor to a well-functioning repo market. That's pretty big in traditional finance, where institutional lenders and borrowers can transact purely on trust. Oh, this is when, before the COVID crash, the repo market froze up, right? The banks weren't trusting each other. They knew the risks or what was coming down the pipe, so the Fed had to step in. The borrowers are the following: miners who need to tender Bitcoin or Ether for fiat. The lending platform will demand over-collateralization to protect their depositors. A typical structure is a borrower can borrow 50% of the USD value of their Bitcoin. Typical structure is a borrower can borrow. Yeah, okay. If the price of Bitcoin drops 30%, a margin call is issued. If the price drops further without a collateral top up, the Bitcoin collateral is liquidated. We had a lot of that last few days, right? This flow is part of the reason why the March 13th sell-off was so vicious. Just talking about the COVID crash. Bitcoin and the Ether collateral had to be liquidated to protect depositors. Hodlers who need fiat liquidity, living the high life, who still require a decent amount of fiat. Hodlers wishing to move out of the basement into better digs. I need to move into better digs, yeah. Need to come up with status ducats. Status ducats? He's talking about government money, fiat. These borrowers will also over-collateralize, similar to miners. Exchanges need more deposits to lend to speculators. In a bull market, speculators will pay ridiculous rates because the assets they trade are appreciating so quickly. Yeah, this is the risk of crypto markets, right? As they go up. That's why this flush out was actually good. The exchanges will approach other intermediaries, and borrow crypto or fiat to use on the platform. Because of the reasons mentioned above, exchanges are such good credits that they will usually not provide any collateral. Oh, wow. Large trading houses are always on the lookout to use other people's money to enhance returns. It is still very capital intensive to trade across all the major exchanges. Given the best shops also trade in the traditional markets, the crypto traders are always battling for more capital from the head office at reasonable rates. So if you borrow at 10%, now you got to trade to perform like 20-30%, right? You got to outperform that lending rate. I know that some shops traders get face ripped by the internal treasury desk. Wow. Some shops will provide USD as collateral to obtain crypto. Some shops, because of how established they are, can borrow without collateral. So in investment banking now, they're getting so many USD thrown at them. They don't have this problem, right? These lending platforms are the closest thing our ecosystem has to banks. They bid for deposits by paying high rates of interest. In old school banks, 3-4 decades ago, they used to pay 8-9% in UK, right? So the bidding for your pounds that you were keeping under your mattress, right, or in your shoebox, they wanted those paper notes, that cash. Now they don't want it. They've got so much. They conduct credit analysis on borrowers to determine how much leverage to extend and call loans to protect their depositors. For the efforts, they earn net interest margin. Okay. Where these platforms differ, it's good to know how Celsius really works, right? I kind of knew this, but this is extra detail. Where these platforms differ from traditional commercial banks is that they cannot expand the money supply. Yeah, that's the problem in the crypto capital markets. They conduct fully reserve banking. I think that will change soon over time, right? Fractional reserving, right? Once the ecosystem is big enough to handle it, they can only loan funds equal to their deposits. These platforms could create their own token, Celsius has, and BlockFi, I believe, has, and attempt to convince the market that this token has a claim to income of the lender. This token could then be used as a cash equivalent on exchanges or to pay for crypto goods and services. If only someone was that audacious to mint currency out of thin air and convince the market it was worth more than zero. I think you know where this is going. All right. Now is so this is all leads into DeFi if you don't know, right? Especially creating your own token, trying to convince the market. Like Celsius will claim or promote how many billions of dollars or crypto he has under deposit, right? Uh, and it will use network growth, number of users, and all that kind of stuff. And the token is done amazing. So now the token has economic energy built into it, and it's got its own lending, and it's on exchanges and everything. So it's proven. I'm a fucking farmer. The DeFi proto bank. Exactly. Why just get rid of the bloody humans, right? Why not decentralize the functions of a lender? Why not create programmable finance? Why not have this borrowing and lending activity all live on blockchain and be completely transparent? This is the dream. Various projects took up this challenge and created a whole ecosystem of dApps that attempt to perform the functions of a bank in a decentralized and trustless fashion. Here's a very simple example of a DeFi lending project. There are so many more beautiful flavors. Let's keep it simple. Select your protocol on which to build your DeFi bank. The most popular choice for so far is Ethereum. That means the project using the ERC20 standard. Create a smart contract where users can deposit a select number of ERC20 tokens and earn yield. The most popular tokens are wrapped Bitcoin, WBTC, REMBTC, ETH, DAI, USDT, USDC, etc. Create a smart contract where the borrower can deposit collateral, e.g., I want to borrow ETH, so I will over collateralize with wrapped BTC. I deposit my collateral into a smart contract, and out the other side, I will receive ETH into my wallet. If the price of ETH denominated in BTC rises, ETH is worth more than Bitcoin. My WBTC collateral is liquidated on a decentralized exchange. Uniswap is all the rage right now, and ETH is returned to the lender. I can keep my ETH, but I've lost my wrapped Bitcoin collateral on the other side. Yeah, the project either takes a fee in the form of cut of the interest or a fee for just arranging the trade. The platform also issues their own native token, and the only way to earn it is to participate on a platform as either a lender, borrower, or both. This business model is that of a protocol bank engaged in a fully reserved lending. Loans outstanding must be worth less than the number of deposits. The part that makes this interesting is that it's programmable finance, where the owners are those who actually use the service. Contrast this with a typical bank where common stockholders are governments, large asset managers, and some retail investors. Ownership of equity is conferred through purchase of shares rather than by usage of their service. Tokenomics, the economics of tokens, is going to be a new major at Wharton taught by Dan Larimer. He created BitShares and EOS. It's fascinating and where the activity known as yield farming originated. Using the above example, I could create a fixed supply of tokens, like Hex, and the only way to earn those tokens is to engage in borrowing or lending. No, that's not Hex. That's more like BlockFi, I guess, or Celsius. Yeah. So when you deposit your coins on Celsius, you are lending Celsius your coins. Remember that. You can, of course, purchase them in the open market from holders who wish to sell. The token has the following attributes. All fee income to the project is passed on to the token holder's net of operational costs. Token holders can vote by submitting improvements, proposals. And this is more like Uniswap, I guess. Maybe with their liquidity option, right? Ish. And vote by staking their token. Here are some things that holders can vote on. Operational costs. The biggest cost for an ERC20 token is the Ethereum network's gas fees. Yeah, we all know about that. A list of approved uncollateralized borrowers, e.g. token holders, could vote to allow an exchange the ability to borrow against depositors at the market clearing rate without collateral. Leverage ratios for collateralized lending, fees charged by the platform. The next question is, how do you value such a token in the open market? As a holder of the token, I earn a yield denoted by the following formulas. My yearly token income equals the number of tokens I hold times by fee income divided by total supply of tokens. My token yearly yield, my token yearly income divided by the price paid per token and the number of tokens. Let's say the yield was 5%. Ignoring the risk that the smart contract is constructed poorly, I must evaluate this investment against something similar. If all loans are at least fully collateralized, I don't have to worry about the credit quality of that loan book. I'm also assuming I can sell collateral in the event of a margin call with no market slippage. That means the security I should evaluate my earnings against our US treasuries. Ah, interesting. The US government can print money at will. So in US dollar terms, it is risk-free. There is political risk that they decide not to print money to pay back holders, but barring that, it is risk-free in nominal USD terms. We are not talking about the purchasing power of the USD after rampant M2 money supply. Inflation, just the fact that if you lend $100, you get back $100. Short term, less than 2 years, US Treasury securities yield slightly more than zero. Therefore, investing in a token, so the US dollar is a token, the pound is a token, the euro is a token, right? Investing in a token that yields better than zero is a better use of your capital. The risk to your investment in this DeFi proto bank are the following: the lower the amount of the assets locked in smart contracts, the lower the potential fee revenue. Therefore, if after you purchase the token, the assets under contract, assets under collateral, your anticipated yearly fee income will be insufficient to generate enough yield. The loan book takes impairment. If all loans are at least 100% collateralized, that would mean that when attempting to liquidate collateral, market liquidity did not allow the protocol to cover all the value of the lent currency. E.g., you borrow 100 US dollars against $110 worth of wrapped Bitcoin. The price of wrapped Bitcoin falls 10%. The protocol liquidates wrapped Bitcoin against USDT. It's a lot of complex things going on behind the scenes of DeFi, isn't it? On the lending platform side. And it's only able to recover 90 USDT. Now the loss of 10 USDT must be taken from the pool of retained earnings. Or depositors must receive a haircut proportional to their percentage in the total deposit asset pool. If the loan book lends to certain perceived high quality credits like exchanges with less than 100% collateral, that borrower, the exchange, could default. A similar sort of income or principal impairment would occur similar to point 2. A crypto bank robbery happens. That has happened, a few times. That is the result of an intentional or unintentional bug. Some bugs are intentional. In the smart contract, that's the rug pull. In the smart contract code that siphons assets out of the project, or they become inaccessible. Yeah, if you deposit tokens to a protocol and the guy who created the code intends to lock it up and siphon it off for his own purposes, that is another rug pull. This is the bull case for your yield to rise in the future. The protocol is able to gather more and more assets under a collateral, thus or under contract or code, thus increasing the potential fees earned. The token holders vote on appropriate credit policies that allow for the extension of credit that is not 100% collateralized at an acceptable risk level. This means that the default impairment cost is less than the interest income earned from these riskier activities. The majority of DeFi projects require staking and some sort of uneconomical activity. Yeah, locking up your money is uneconomical, right? So you need to get paid for that, right? As a reward for your participation, you are able to farm a token created out of thin air with dubious ownership claims to any potential income stream of the project. Hex is a product, and the income stream is, basically proven, right, after 500 days. The memes are hilarious, yam, based, etc. And the fact that these tokens are worth more than zero is a testament to the financial repression hoisted upon savers by all powerful central bankers. When faced with severe income inequality and free money for the fortunate, financial speculation will surge. Yeah, it's all central bank causing all this stuff. Would you rather work for 30 years for stagnant, yes, this is so true in UK, wages are so flat, to negative real income gains and service to a mega corp? Or would you rather come play in the intellectual casinos that are the financial markets? At least at the casino, you can visualize yourself hitting it big quickly. Imagine many essential workers are just so happy that they can serve humanity for below average workers' wages. Again, this is potentially dystopian backdrop where greater than 50% of the population is on some sort of basic income. Wow, it's true. Trading worthless memes under the guise of innovative technology ceases to be so daft or idiotic. The holy grail of Bitcoin. For Bitcoin to be true money, the cost of capital for certain businesses and the individuals must be priced natively in Bitcoin. We are far from that, right? At least 5 years, right? Any linkage to a fiat currency relegates, probably more than like 7, 8, 10 years, right? Any linkage to a fiat currency relegates the Bitcoin capital markets to be perennially short US dollars. That's why the volatility is still a feature until Bitcoin is widely accepted, right? And that's why governments fight so hard for that not to be the case. All points in the value added chain of goods production must be able to borrow cheaply in Bitcoin. You can't borrow cheaply in Bitcoin. It's expensive, right? If at all possible. The current miner and speculator use case for crypto and stablecoin fixed income products is a great first step. This demand laid the groundwork for the rise of DeFi yield farming. While the majority of activity is economically wasteful, the underlying ability to build an ecosystem of dApps enabling programmable finance is a big improvement over the slow, analog, expensive legacy financial system. The rise of the DeFi protocol bank, where users own the rights to the net interest money? I think that's the spread. Net income, right? Earned or usher in a wave of inclusive banking services for the businesses and individuals crowded out of the capital markets by corporate socialism. Bloody hell, he holds no punches. Like he shouldn't. Like he should. Yeah, good on him. That is the dream of the DeFi protocol bank. It will almost certainly not materialize during this bull market. Yeah, that's kind of proving itself. Next go round. But that narrative will attract hopefully hundreds of billions of USD capital into the ecosystem. I think the total value locked peaked around like 90 something, 92, 93 before the crash. A sustained pump needs a powerful narrative. I believe this can serve that purpose. Yeah, I think so. What was the narrative of this market? It's been inflation, digital gold. DeFi was kind of late on the scene. I'm laser focused on how 100x can be a cornerstone in the fixed income scaffolding of the crypto capital markets. Watch this space. We are working on some cool shit. A note on DeFi shitcoin trading. I, like many other punters, am enjoying yield farming meme tokens. To put this degenerate behavior into context, I fully expect to lose most of the money I invest, quote unquote, into any of these projects. In my head, I like to believe I can read market sentiment and get out at the top of the bull market. But in reality, like most other traders, I will buy high, hold, and sell well after the top. I viewed the destruction of my capital is the only way to learn. It's unfortunate, yeah. Being a speculator, you need to blow up some shit, your own money, literally. What the next wave of products and services should be built on this space by 100x. That's his company. You can never find a truffle if you aren't willing to wallow in the dirt. The size of my positions are tiny. My core investments of gold and silver miners, physical gold, and my interest in 100x dwarf any investment in YAM, Wi-Fi, DOT, or any other piece of shit token that I decide to buy. There are no nightclubs. I'm replacing bubbly water spend with shit coins. At least I'm learning something. So this is during lockdown. This is during Hong Kong takeover. Global macro. Let's see what he said last summer and how it's played out. I, like many other pseudo-intellectual keyboard warriors, have a massive upside price target for Bitcoin. I'll get into that next digest, but Q4 is going to be a humdinger. He fucking called that, didn't he? October, November, December. October was 10k Bitcoin. The first title for fight of 2020 is Trump versus not Trump. The not Trump camp don't deserve to be mentioned by name, as they are so uninspiring and status quo. They do disservice to the so-called Progressive Party of American politics. I'm excited for a few months of dank memes, pithy one-liners, and a gross oversimplification of the ills of the American empire. What American empire is done, sir. The financial markets are going to whipsaw as politicians contort themselves, continue feeding at the trough. Yeah, they only care about their own pocketbook, not your pocketbook. This, unfortunately, will have lasting effects on everyone's lives across the globe. Yes, he's so right on here. Out of the chaos, more people mistrust centralized authority, or this is good for crypto, and look for other ways to protect their physical persons. Yes. Apart from the ones who vax themselves with experimental medicinal technology and capital from the wanton destruction waged upon them by their rulers. You are being ruled, people. My pocket rockets are primed and ready. Gold and Bitcoin. Gold is about to take off now. Almost like 8-9 months later, but Bitcoin did it. Gold is next. So I think there's some rotation of money from Bitcoin into gold. Yeah, cool, man. All right, stop sharing his tab. Close it down. His next one on DeFi was just bang on. I'll read out some other time. But for now, I'm out. Peace, Balaji.